I did not anticipate this. This is incredible. I also love a smoke machine. I mean, who doesn't? Hi, everybody. Hi. Wow, there's a lot of you here.
Hello, Elijah.
Hello.
Welcome to Belgium.
Thank you so much.
I believe it's not your first time in Belgium. So I was wondering, is there anything that struck you as being typical or peculiar for Belgians?
I mean, typical or peculiar. I mean, you love beer.
Obviously.
Great beer here. You're known for moule frites, right?
Yes.
Very good. I don't know.
Waffles?
What's that?
Waffles?
Oh, waffles, yeah,
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Now, in the UK, there's a famous drinking game. Name 3 famous Belgians.
Okay,
Can you name 3 famous Belgians?
I can, I think. Django Reinhardt. Do you know who Django Reinhardt is? Oh,
Okay, wow, nice.
You should know who Django Reinhardt is. He's an amazing guitarist from the 1930s and 40s.
Okay.
Yep, check it out. And let's see. Plastic Bertrand is from here
Wow.
as well.
Yes.
And I just found this out. I did not know Audrey Hepburn
Indeed.
was Belgian.
Yes. Wow. Give it up. I'm impressed.
Oh, and obviously Magritte, one of the
Yes.
greatest exports or one of the most important artists.
Amazing.
Yeah, Magritte.
Tomorrow,
There's an amazing Magritte museum in
yes, the Magritte
Brussels.
Museum.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to ask the same question, but like name 10 famous Belgians.
I'll have to write them down and look at the cheat sheet.
Now you're from Iowa.
Yes, originally, yeah.
What are the 3 most famous people from Iowa?
Ashton Kutcher
Okay.
is one of them. There are others. There's a bunch from Iowa that, you know, I'll randomly run into someone and they'll say they're from Iowa as well. But I can't off the top of my head.
Yourself?
I'm never going to say myself. Though.
Yes. Jason said, so you should know. Now obviously you're an actor. What would be a perk of being an actor? The one thing you go like, yeah, this is so great about being an actor.
Yeah, a perk about being an actor. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think as someone who loves movies and still really loves movies, getting to meet other people that I admire in the, you know, that are in movies that I grew up watching is a lovely perk, you know, and not only getting to meet them, but getting to work with them in many cases. I love that. And I also love, you know, a big perk of the job is being able to travel. I have, so much of the traveling I've done in my life has been as a result of working as an actor, and I'm so grateful for that. I mean, being here, getting to travel to Ghent and meet all of you, this is all because of what it is that I get to do, so it's a real privilege.
Do you still get starstruck?
Yes, totally. You know, I think the most starstruck I've ever been with another actor, it definitely happens. You know, again, like I said, I'm a fan. I watch movies. It's a total joy for me to meet people whom I admire. The most starstruck I think I've ever been working with another actor, though, was working opposite Nicolas Cage. It was so surreal and incredible, and he's amazing, and we had an amazing experience working together. But it was the only time that I had almost an out-of-body experience working opposite another actor, where I'd be in the middle of a scene and just be thinking, "Holy fuck, that's Nicolas Cage!" Oh wow, the way he said that was like so Nicolas Cage. Like it was a total out-of-body experience.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Now you've been an actor for quite a while.
Yes.
What's the thing that's changed most during all these years of being an actor? Industry-wise, acting method-wise, anything you go like, when I was young, this was so different from what is now.
I mean, so many things. You know, we used to make movies exclusively on film. So I came up in the pre-digital era, before there were digital cameras. You know, so the economy of that, of shooting something, you know, you only had, rolls of film are expensive. So that was sort of that factored into choices that were made. Whereas now with digital, you can kind of just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and there isn't sort of the expenditure. There are positives and negatives to that, actually. It's kind of lovely to sort of just shoot and see what happens. The distribution model has changed. It used to be that, you know, everything was exclusively released in cinemas, and the theatrical experience was king for all of us. It was how we watched movies. That is not how we consume movies primarily anymore. So that's really changed. But at the same time, you know, coming up in the industry, international cinema and independent cinema, you really had to seek that out. There were only so many theaters that would show those films. And now, with the advent of streaming, it's made those things far more accessible. And I think the world has gotten smaller in a great way, where an international film like Parasite can win Best Picture at the Oscars in this way that never would have been possible 10 years ago. So, you know, there's wonderful things that have happened, and you know, it's a constantly evolving thing. A lot of the industry, the changes are technologically based for the most part, you know.
Talking about that, Ian McKellen typically or famously broke down on the set of The Hobbit, crying, saying, "I haven't become an actor to be surrounded by green screens."
Sure, yeah.
How do you feel about it? Would you rather be working with real special effects or CGI, or you have no preference?
I've been fortunate enough to sort of work in all aspects of it. You know, on a movie adaptation of the graphic novel Sin City, for instance, I shot that was shot almost exclusively against green screen. There were very few sets. To then something like, you know, Lord of the Rings, which was an unbelievable mixture of blue screen, green screen elements and physical locations, and being out in the New Zealand wilderness. So, you know, I don't know. I don't necessarily have look. I think I prefer to be in a real place with real people, always. But I also love the tools of filmmaking. I think storytelling is at its best in cinema, I feel, when it employs a mixture of all of those, a combination of those elements. It helps to, the blending of those things helps to sort of, for them to be more believable rather than it feeling like just a piece of animation. So I like when it's a combination of those elements. But as an actor, I like the tools, and I think, you know, those tools continue to grow and become more interesting, and it's just, you know, these are just elements that we work with as actors, and I think they're kind of fun, you know.
Talking about evolution, AI, blessing or curse?
We don't know yet. I think it's too early to say. I think it's a really interesting tool. I think, you know, as far as, you know, the images that it can create based on text, you know, sort of suggestions, and the same with video that it can create. It's in its infancy, but it's seen a massive leap in a really short amount of time. It's a little scary, the implications of what that means, but I don't know that we really know yet practically what that means. I do feel like, as it pertains to cinema, people they're going to want a sense of authenticity. I think that's extremely important. And if they feel like something's false when it's sort of being presented as not false, it's going to ring untrue and be uncomfortable for people, I think. But we'll see. We just don't know. I think we're sort of on the precipice of a sea change, and I don't think we can really predict where it's going to go.
Right, wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now, you're an actor, but you're also famous. Have you ever, just between us, abused of your fame to get something, you know, like a table in a fully booked restaurant, or an upgrade, or "Hi girl, do you know who I am?"
I've always really found that very uncomfortable. So no, I mean, I'm sure I've allowed it on my behalf. Someone has maybe used my name to get a table at a restaurant or something, but I've never been able to do that personally. I find it very uncomfortable. That being said, listen, I by virtue of having been in this industry for a long time and being recognizable, certainly I've experienced perks, not that I've asked for, but that have been given to me just because, and I'm always super shocked and super grateful for it. But I don't know, it always feels weird to like use celebrity to get things. Yeah. I'm sure I've stupidly done it once or twice, but it's not my style. When I was growing up, you know, I started working when I was 8 years old, and my mom made it her business to sort of drill humility into me and never sort of allow for special treatment or to, you know, to sort of allow any kind of sense of celebrity to define who I am. And that's really kind of like permeated my life, and these are sort of values that I still hold to this day.
It must have been a strange school time. I mean, being...
It was, yeah. It was. I didn't go, I mean, I went to sort of elementary school for a bit, and then a lot of my schooling was either homeschool or it was tutored on set. So I didn't go to a regular high school. A lot of my high school was just like correspondence, and so yeah, very, very unique experience in that regard.
So no high school friends or anything?
I had friends my own age, but not necessarily from school, yeah.
Do you still get confused with Daniel Radcliffe?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Is that why the mustache is there, to say like, I'm not...
No. But yeah, no, it happens all the time.
Can you tell us something about yourself that very few people know? Like favorite color of socks or favorite wine or something like, you know, a little thing, go like, few people know that about me, and I'm willing to share it, obviously.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm like self-aware enough to to think of a quality or a thing. I don't know. I'm pretty open about the things that I like or that are a part of me. So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that people don't know. I used to bite my nails, but I think that was evident. That was evident in movies. If you look in Lord of the Rings, any insert shots of me holding the ring, Frodo's nails are all bitten because I would bite my nails. Not anymore.
Then again, I would be nervous if I had to show the ring in Mordor, so I could be biting my nails as well. Imagine you can host your dream dinner with 3 guests, alive or dead. Anybody, who would you choose?
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, there's so many incredible people. I don't know. 3 people?
Famous or non-famous? I mean, you could say like my grandfather I'd like to have again, or Muhammad Ali, Jesus Christ.
Sure.
I don't know, anybody.
Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
This is just, I'm pulling these things out of, because there's so many. I could create 50 different scenarios of 3 people. Audrey Hepburn, Jimmy Stewart, and I don't know, like Prince or something like that.
Right, very creative table.
Yeah, sure.
If you could swap lives for 1 week with another celebrity, who would you choose? Just for your information, James McAvoy chose Taylor Swift.
It'd be pretty awesome to be Taylor Swift. I don't know that I'd want to swap lives with another celebrity.
Just for a week, you know, just to see what they experience. Does anybody go like Nicolas Cage or?
No, it wouldn't be with an actor. It wouldn't be with an actor. It'd be like Tom York.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Radiohead fan. I love music. If I could trade lives with him for a week, but retain his musical ability, right? So I could keep my perspective, but be able to play and sing. That would be pretty amazing.
You actually do play music yourself?
I mean, I mess around. I don't play anything well.
Because Billy Boyd?
Yeah.
He sang the song from Return of the King here on this stage.
Did he?
That was so amazing. So
yeah, he's amazing.
If you want to sing something today or tomorrow.
Nope. Nope, I'm good.
Do we want to hear you sing something?
I don't sing.
2 questions before we get to the questions from the crowd. So if people want to start queuing up, it's a choice now. Okay. If you could interview yourself, what would you ask yourself? Yeah, I'm not going to make it easy on you.
Well, see, that gets to, I don't, what would I ask myself? I'm not that I don't know.
I'll slightly change the question.
Yeah.
If you could talk to your 15-year-old self,
Okay.
what would you tell him?
15-year-old. What would I say? I don't know. I don't know what I would tell my 15-year-old self.
Usually it's stuff like, everything's gonna be fine, you'll blend in, don't worry, be different, you know, like...
But I wasn't stressed. I wasn't, at 15, I wasn't so stressed. I wasn't, yeah, I didn't have that kind, I didn't go through, at that, when I was 15, 16, I was sort of all right. I wasn't stressed about being a teenager or about what was gonna happen next. I was pretty relaxed for the most part, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Final question from me. Imagine, which isn't the case, I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. Sell it to me. Why should I see Lord of the Rings?
I mean, why should you see Lord of the Rings? I mean, in many cases, I feel like it's one of the last great epic trilogies ever made, and I obviously I'm extremely biased, having been a part of it, but I do think, you know, the entire movie was shot on film. It was made at a time that there wasn't an over-reliance on CG. It is this really extraordinary mixture of live action and classic old in-camera effects with CG and real locations. It's an epic, I mean, and the story itself is universal. It's an incredible adventure, hero's journey with amazing characters, sprawling, something for everybody. I don't know.
I'll check it out.
All right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your time to shine. There's a few ground rules. One question per person, please, only one. English only. Articulate and speak in the microphone. And please don't ask for free hugs or free pictures or free autographs, nor for Elijah's hotel room number. I got that, you can bribe me. Person to the left, take it away.
I want to ask a question because my husband is a big fan of you, and he wanted to know if you still have contact with the people from Lord of the Rings, the cast.
Yeah. We actually, the Hobbits have a thread, a text thread. We text each other every day. Generally, it's New York Times mini crossword scores. But yeah, listen, all of us communicate at some point or another, not necessarily every year, but we're all connected. But the four of us managed to keep the most regular contact. But you know, you go through something like that, and we were all so close to making it that you're sort of linked for the rest of your lives in the best way, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Person to the right.
Hello.
Hi. Will you wear wigs?
I will. It's really funny. I've recently rewatched that interview, which is, you know, just taken off. And I was surprisingly so resistant to the notion of wearing wigs. And I was like, that's what I would do. I'd go back to my 20-something-year-old self and be like, dude, just say you wear wigs. Like, fucking lean in. Yes, and, man. Because I was so resistant, like, no. But I mean, I did wear wigs. I wore wigs in Lord of the Rings, and I certainly have since, and I will again.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Serena. My English is very bad. I'm sorry. Um, I love you
Thank you.
since a lot of years.
Thank you.
25 years. And I know everything about you. So I don't have question, but I want to say, to know. I want to know what do you think about the final of Game of Thrones?
The finale of Game of Thrones?
Yes, because I like the final, but nobody likes it. What do you think?
You like the finale, but nobody else does. So you hope that I love it too?
No, it's for
I will be
everyone.
very diplomatic in my response. I will say that I think it's really hard to please everyone when it comes to finding a conclusion to a series like that. Especially since the books aren't finished being written, so there isn't an ending that was already an agreed upon ending for the fans to sort of have expectations of. That being said, I love the show so much. The ending's not my favorite.
You don't like the final.
What's that?
The final
What?
of Game of Thrones?
The question was if you don't like the final, but you like the show.
I love the show. I love the show. It's I found the last two seasons.
The end.
The problem with the problem is that I know the problem with that show at the end is not even their fault. Is that there are multiple factions up until the last two seasons, and then there are only two, because everyone sort of starts to align with two sides. And what made that show, and I think what makes the book so interesting, if I've not read the books, but conceivably, is that it is a Game of Thrones. It's all these different sort of, and you're being pushed and pulled in these different directions. Anyway, I don't know.
You don't like.
Thank you.
You don't like. C'est ça?
Person to the right, we have to pose the next question, so.
I love
go
the
ahead.
show.
Hi, good afternoon. I have one question. The lembas bread in the movie.
Yes.
Did it taste good?
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all right. It was like a dense scone.
I always wondered.
Yeah, the scone is a great thing, but this was like it was somewhere between what's that like cookie that's bread? No, it was like a dense scone that didn't have a lot of flavor.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Belgium. I
Thanks.
almost missed you last year in Brussels, so
Aw.
you're here now. Is there anything you would have liked to take home with you from any set you've worked on? Or that you have and that almost nobody knows until now?
I don't have anything that really was taken. There are a couple of things. There are two portraits above the mantelpiece in back end of Frodo's parents, I think. They're either Frodo's parents or Bilbo's parents. And the portraits were artistic renderings of Peter Jackson and his wife Fran. And I would have loved to have taken those, because they're really great and they look so much like them. And of course, Peter's rendition doesn't have a beard. Yeah, I would love to have taken those, but I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Nothing on your mantelpiece that sits there hidden.
Nothing that I have. I mean, I have a map from back end that I took. I asked for it. I have the ring at home. I mean, you know, Lord of the Rings, the production design and the props and the set design was really extraordinary. So there happened to be a lot of things that were kind of cool, you know. I feel like I have Kevin's outfit from Sin City at home as well. I do have that somewhere in storage. Yeah, and I have a costume from Huckleberry Finn too.
Cool, thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, Elijah.
Hey.
A lot of people here are here, I guess, for Lord of the Rings. But I'm more interested in the beginning of your career in the 90s. You made some great roles in North with Rob Reiner, The War starring next to Kevin Costner. We had Flipper, we had The Ice Storm, and Deep Impact.
Sure.
What is for you in that period, so one question, your most interesting part and why?
You mentioned The Ice Storm. The Ice Storm is one of my favorite films, and really marked kind of a turning point for me as an actor. Previously to that, I was, a child actor, and a lot of what I was working on tended to be movies for families, either for young people or for families, for the most part. And that was a movie for adults, about both young people and older people in the sort of sexual revolution in the 1970s, parents and children just trying to figure it out, based on a really great book, and an incredible filmmaker in Ang Lee and an extraordinary cast. And so much was asked of us as actors in a way that I'd never been challenged and sort of asked to participate in the process in such an intricate and interesting way. And so much about that experience, from the making of it to the material itself, really marked a sort of shift in what I was going to be working on in the future. And it was kind of a demarcation line between being a child actor and starting to work on things that were slightly more adult. So yeah, I loved that film. I loved how it turned out, and the experience of making it was lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, obviously Lord of the Rings are amazing, that's why most of us are here. But with any movie, things have to be left out when they are a movie of a book. So I was wondering, is there a bit of the books that you wish had been included in the movies that was left out?
Yeah, I think, the character of Tom Bombadil is the first thing that comes to mind. It's a really beloved character in the book, and it's, it's an important sequence in the journey. I just think it would have been, for a lot of people, the omission of Tom was a big deal. And so, it's interesting, with this sort of push to make more movies in Middle-earth, Hunt for Gollum, there's another film that we don't know yet what that's going to be. There seems to be an opportunity now to visit characters and elements of those books that didn't make it to the screen. So you never know, maybe Tom Bombadil will have his day, which would be great.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh no, don't be nervous, it's fine.
Sorry. So my question is, if you could be like any race in Middle Earth, which one would you be, like elf, dwarf, hobbit, or wizard, or something else?
Oh, if I could, any kind of person.
Yeah.
I'd stay a hobbit. Hobbits are just the most delightful. It's what I identify most with. I love the Shire. I love the simplicity of their life. It's good food, good friends, love of nature. They don't want to be bothered by too much, although I have a slightly larger sense of adventure than most hobbits do. So I'm a little more in line with Frodo and Bilbo in that way. Yeah, so I'd stick with being a hobbit, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. So I know besides acting, you've also done voice acting, like in Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah.
Is there a different approach for you towards voice acting and normal acting?
Not really. The biggest difference, obviously, is not really considering the physicality of it. So what your wardrobe is, for instance, or the blocking of a scene, all of the sort of physical aspects of acting are sort of distilled down to only what is going to make your voice come alive, and the physicality that is required to, in any moment that your character might be going through something physically. So that's really the biggest difference. There's no memorization, so in that sense, you're not. I don't have to memorize a day's work. It's all being read. But those are the main differences. It's, you know, the approach to characters the same, the investment into characters the same, the interaction with other actors. If anything, it's just more focused. So the requirement then just becomes on, you know, imbuing the voice with life. And I like the sort of hyper focus actually of it. It's a lot more technical. It's a lot more kind of, it's more rhythmic. You're focused on the rhythm. You're focused on what the voice is capable of doing and how that drives the animation. So yeah, I love voice work. It's really fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
In the 90s, you also worked together with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
And in interviews, he said that when he looks back at his work at his old movies, he doesn't really see himself, but just this other kid that was making money, working for his family and stuff. Yeah. And I wondered how you personally feel about your work as a child actor now, especially compared to how you feel about your work as an adult, where you make your own choices.
Sure. I mean, look, I think I made those choices too.
Okay.
But I relate to what he said in the sense that it does feel like at a certain point there's a line between who you are as an adult human being and who you were as a kid. And so looking back on it, I remember those experiences. I don't have vague memories of it. I really remember making that film, for instance, and the fun we had making it. But at a certain point, yeah, you just disconnect from who you were as a child, and you know, from probably 17, 18 years old on, you're sort of the person that you are now, I guess. Or, I mean, we're constantly evolving, hopefully. But anyway, I don't know. I think I do relate to that in a way of sort of looking at it with some degree of disconnect. As almost a life lived that isn't my own anymore. That being said, I have fond memories of all of those experiences and remember them vividly. You know, I was so lucky, man. I got to work on so many different kinds of films and had so many extraordinary experiences as a kid, and they were all really valuable and fun and shaped who I am as a person. And as an actor, you know, I have really truly learned as I've been doing it, because I didn't go to school for it. I didn't train for it. So all of those experiences were enriching in that regard too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi. You just mentioned that you have the One Ring. My question is, where do you keep it?
I keep it secret and safe.
Hello, Elijah. I bring this question for a friend. He is a butcher, so Janine says hi.
Hi.
And his question is, what type of meat do you prefer? Because we all know what's on the menu, boys.
That's amazing. Beautifully prepared. What kind of meat do I prefer? I've never had this question before. It's great. I really love chicken. That's a boring thing to say, but chicken's great. It just is. And I love a good steak for sure. And I love in Spain they have this wonderful jamón ibérico, like acorn-fed pigs. It's very delicious.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hi. So, I learned that you recently played the Scarecrow in a Batman game.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you have taken inspiration from any previous performers?
There wasn't really. I was trying to sort of just take it as it was written and, you know, make it my own as much as possible. Would it at all have been influenced by anything I've seen? I'm sure, but not intentionally.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Elijah.
Hey, hi.
You previously, sorry. you previously mentioned that you really like Radiohead. I was wondering what your favorite album and/or song was.
Radiohead. Favorite album. I would say In Rainbows is probably my favorite. I love everything they make. Certainly from the Bends on, although Pablo Honey's got, some incredible songs as well. But it feels like they really gelled into who they are as artists from the Bends onward. But yeah, In Rainbows I think is a masterpiece. But you could also say that about OK Computer, and you can say that about Kid A. They've done it time and time again. Favorite song? Oh man. Favorite song? I don't know. Paranoid Android is a favorite song, but I also love their B-sides. I think a lot of the OK Computer B-sides are incredible. Trying to remember names, like Polyethylene 1 and 2 is great. I don't know, The Talk Show Host is an amazing song.
All right, Elijah, we're already behind schedule, so you're gonna have to answer a little bit quicker.
Sorry.
Just say yes, no, and it's fine. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Anastasia. How would you describe your perfect breakfast?
My what? My perfect breakfast?
Yes.
Perfect breakfast. Perfect breakfast. I love breakfast, so that could go in so many different ways. Perfect? I know I'm supposed to answer quickly. This isn't not helping me at all. I really love like a great sort of toasted sourdough, 2 fried eggs, and butter on the sourdough. Maybe like a little chili crisp is pretty extraordinary.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What's up?
What's up?
So my question is, everyone knows you wear a lot of rings. Yeah, that's kind of obvious, but my question is, when you put a ring on your finger, do you feel the same as a protagonist? Like you feel some kind of magic power coming from the ring? Or...
Somehow, normal rings don't do that. I wish it were true, though.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Hi, Elijah.
Hi.
I'm a big fan of Over the Garden Wall.
Oh,
I
me
watch
too.
it every year on Halloween.
Oh, I
and I
love
was
that.
wondering if there's a movie or a TV show that you like to rewatch.
Oh, yeah. I have seen Groundhog Day, I think, more than any other film in my life. It's one of those movies that if it's on TV, I have to watch it. I love it so much. I can quote it. I think it's a masterpiece.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah.
After filming Green Street Hooligans, what did you keep after the set?
I don't think I kept anything, actually.
And what would you keep?
What would I have kept? I mean, is there any identifiable props in that movie? I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember. What would you have kept?
The Stone Island jacket, like the long one.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. The one that Charlie wore? Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Hi Elijah.
Hello, I love
is-
your lantern.
Thank you. My name is Sebastian. I wanted to say I'm a big fan. You inspired me to become a woodkeeper here in this convention.
Oh, awesome.
In fantasy and magic. So that's what I wanted to say.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Hi Elijah. As an actor as well, I would like to ask, what was something throughout your auditioning process for Lord of the Rings that will always stick with you?
The process was very unique in that I made my own audition tape with some friends. I had never done that before, but I felt like I needed to do something to just stick out a little bit, because I knew everyone was auditioning for Lord of the Rings, and I wanted it so much that I just wanted to articulate and express my enthusiasm and passion for it in a special way. So that I did that. And I think it worked.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, so I saw you last year at the MagicCon in a panel, and this was the reason I finally started watching Lord of the Rings. I just wanted to say it first. And then I have a question for you, which is, or what is your favorite Disney movie if you have one? Or if one is too difficult to choose, maybe your top 3?
Disney movies?
Yes.
I'll stick with animation. Well, okay, I'll go kind of nostalgic. The original Pete's Dragon.
I love that. That's
I grew up
my
watching
favorite.
Pete's Dragon. I love it so much. I'm just going purely on my youth. Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Does anybody remember? That was really great. And then one more. I don't know. This goes to animation. Probably Aladdin. Growing up, I don't know. I really loved Aladdin, but I grew up with Disney and Disney animation too. And I've since also become obviously a huge Pixar fan. But they used to make really great live-action movies. They still do. But those originals were really great.
Thank you so much for answering.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, my dear.
Hello. You were late.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. So I just wanted to ask you, what is your favorite scene from all of Lord of the Rings, all 3 movies?
I don't necessarily have a favorite scene. It's been a while since I've sat and watched them, to be honest. But I would say my favorite sequence is the entire Mines of Moria sequence. So from the moment that they open the door until they get out under the top of the mountain after the Balrog and Gandalf fall through the chasm, I just think that entire section of the film is extraordinary. The cave troll scene, the contemplation of Frodo dealing with the sort of burden of the ring and the conversation he has with Gandalf, with Gollum sort of following. There's just so much, it's so rich. And the production design of that entire, sort of underground city is just amazing. Yeah.
Very final questions. Go ahead.
All right, let's do it.
So I grew up reading a lot of books, The Hobbit by far being my favorite. Probably read it over a dozen times.
Cool.
So I was really excited when the movies came out. But I know a lot of people were upset about they divided one book into a trilogy of movies. So I was wondering what you thought of that decision to, split the book up into 3s.
It was originally going to be 2. I think based on the way that they approached the material, which wasn't simply to adapt The Hobbit, but to sort of imbue it with elements of Lord of the Rings and start to sow the seeds of what transpires in Lord of the Rings with the sort of investigation into the sort of darkness rising in Middle-earth, I thought was really interesting. And by doing it that way, it expanded the storytelling to sort of require it to be more movies. So, what am I to say beyond it's sort of the decision that they made to kind of expand their stories? And there's a lot of richness and there's a lot to sort of explore within the context of that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, last but one.
Welcome to Belgium first.
Thanks.
My question is, how long do you work on the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, out 2001?
What was the question?
How long was it work for the screening for the first movie?
So how long did we work on that first movie?
Yes.
All of the films were actually shot simultaneously. So we shot all of them over the course of about 16 months. Almost a year and a half, a little less than a year and a half. So principal photography was throughout. Yeah, and we initially started, the first couple of months were pretty much exclusively Fellowship of the Ring. And then from there on out, we were bouncing all over the place. And there were so many units. We were shooting, I think, 6 different units simultaneously. So we would all be spread out in different sets in different parts of New Zealand to be able to shoot them all. Because I think if they were shot one at a time, it would have taken 3 years. Because it was a long and intense process. But yeah, they were all shot simultaneously. So 16 months.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Very final question. Make it count. No pressure.
Hello.
Hi.
I love acting too, and later I want to act in movies and stuff. And you have experience with it, so I was wondering, what is one advice you want to give a starting actor?
Oh man, advice. A lot of things. I mean, watch a lot of movies. It's really great to just educate yourself about all kinds of different acting and, be inspired by other performances and also just get a sort of overview of that kind of storytelling. So just watch a lot of movies. All of that helps. Obviously life experience too. And then, I think preparation is a huge thing. Just from a practical standpoint, just being really prepared and being so prepared that you can kind of be free on the day. I think, when you're working, at least for me, I need to almost over prepare so that I don't worry on the day. I'm not thinking too much about the dialogue, and I'm just kind of in the moment. Because acting, what it really is it's about just reacting and being in the moment with your fellow actors and allowing for something to sort of take on a life of its own. So yeah, preparation is big.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Elijah. That's a wrap. Give it up for Elijah.
Thank you so much.